So I was silly, very, very silly girl last night. Normally, I go to sleep with my children at the same time, 8:30, 9 p.m. I'm out. Last night, I was feeling a little rebellious. I was feeling like a bad girl. So I took my phone out. I took off my pants and I got on Instagram Reels and I doom scrolled for way too long. I'm talking hours, okay? Hours of scrolling, and it caused me to have a full-blown panic attack, spiral, existential crisis, breakdown, okay? All right? It was not good. It was not good. Because I was given way too much information in these short chunks and it was freaking me out. Oh, we bombed Iran. The world's secretly run by pedophiles. Raising an autistic child gives you PTSD comparable to a frontline soldier. Oh, turns out when autistic kids get older, there's no good group homes around. So when you die, what's going to happen to your child? Oh, sorry, I missed the scariest one. Of course I missed it. One of the guys on my TikTok, because then I went to TikTok, and said that people are getting dementia in their 30s and 40s now from social media and from scrolling, and it's killing our brains. Cool. So cool. So cool. Because that's my biggest fear is getting dementia. And I notice that I sometimes forget things and I forget names and I forget why I walked into a room, and it's terrifying. And then I feel like I'm killing my brain. And I just got a text from my son's teacher saying something along the lines of, he is scratching his peers. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that wonderful? If you are a parent with a kid on the spectrum, you know the dreaded texts and calls from teachers and principals and aides. Let's just see. Just wanted to let you know that Afi's been having a bit of a tough day and has been scratching peers at times. Isn't that great? To help prevent any marks, could you please trim his nails when you get a chance? Thanks so much for your support and partnership. Now, see that I could spiral into I'm a bad mom. I don't clip his nails, but I do clip his nails. They grow so fast. I just clipped his nails like 2 weeks ago, and they just grow and grow and grow. And you know, it's sad to me because he's been so great all weekend. And that's probably another thing you might identify if you have a kid on the spectrum, is like they have really troubling behaviors and it's scary and it feels out of control. And then you have like 3 good days and you're like, he's better now. Yeah, I don't need to do any therapies. He is literally amazing and the best kid on earth alongside my daughter. And he's perfect. And then you get a text like that. You're like, okay, cool. There's still some stuff going on. This is an ongoing thing. Okay. So anyway, last night I just totally fucking lost my mind. I was freaking out. And then I said, okay, Laura, you're going to just do better tomorrow. You're not going to scroll and take on the atrocities, all of the atrocities in the world. You're not going to catastrophize and ruminate about what's going to happen to your son in 50 years or what's going to happen in Iran tomorrow. You know, it was so much. And then I just don't think it's natural. And then when the guy posted about people getting dementia in their 30s now because of the amount of times we spent on screens and how that's killing our brains. This is just some fucking 22-year-old trying to make a viral video on TikTok. I don't know where he got that. And I'm just taking it on like it's a study published from Harvard. Some dude in his bedroom, like, hey guys, you're going to get dementia at 26 if you scroll one more minute. And I'm like, no. Now I've got dementia. So I'm not going to take that on. I'm going to do better today. I'm not going to beat myself up. Okay. I downloaded a book called Sapiens. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's fucking dope. I'm on chapter 2. And I'm learning about those Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. And we're on the, let me show you. We're talking about gossiping. Hold on. Let me show you.
Wolves and chimpanzees cooperate far more flexibly than ants, but they can do so only with small.
Where is it?
About 70 millennia ago, enabled them to gossip for hours on end. Reliable information about who could be trusted meant that small bands could expand into larger bands. Yet the truly unique feature of our language is not its ability to transmit information about men and lions. Rather, it's the ability to transmit information about things that do not exist at all. As far as we know, only sapiens can talk about entire kinds of entities that they have never seen, touched, or smelled. Legends, myths, gods, and religions appeared for the first time with the cognitive revolution.
Cognitive revolution. That's where we're at. Cognitive revolution. Anyway, Sapiens, it's a little brief history of humankind, and I recommend it. I recommend you should read it / listen to it with me. I've decided I'm going back to consuming a book a month, and I'm teaching myself piano. Because I need to learn new things. I need to exercise this brain. I exercise this body all the time, but I truthfully am not exercising my brain enough, I think, because I'm not going to give excuses, but I just, work it for me. It's not even really a new muscle. I'm so good at writing. I've been writing books and sketches and comedy for so long that it's not challenging me enough. And apparently you need to create and form new neural pathways by learning either a new language or an instrument and reading, consuming more books. So that is what I'm doing. And so, okay, I clocked it. As the Gen Z say, I clocked it last night that I had that little mentee bee, that little spiral. And now I'm going to do better. I'm already on chapter 2 of Sapiens. And, look, now I do not feel bad for my love of gossiping, because you just do. My friend came over yesterday. My 2 best friends. And right away, it's like, oh my God, how is your day? Girl, it was 50 Shades of Grey. Oh my God, what? Yeah. He told me how big it was. What? And I got all the tea. I got all the dirty, dirty tea on my friend's date. And it was glorious. My jaw was on the floor. And I even tried to text her after her date. Come on, just tell me how it went. She goes, no. I need to sit down next to you and give you play by play, minute by minute. So fun. But then it's funny because then your little spidey senses kick in and you go, oh, and we're noticing now, like dating in your 40s, not that I'm dating, and actually I'm not 40 yet, but whatever, dating in your 30s and 40s is really interesting. I'm actually curious to hear from women in their 30s, 40s, and maybe even 20s who have been divorced or recently had a breakup and are now back in the dating scene. Again, that is not me. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm, for the first time in my life, for the first time since hitting puberty, I am not interested in dating, or I don't have a romantic interest or a crush or the desire to fall in love right now. It's a wild thing. And I can't even grasp it really, because ever since I was 12, 13 years old and I saw the other 12-year-old boy at the local Four Corners in downtown Downers Grove. And when we walked past each other and I was like, wow, he's cute. And then he was like, wow, she's cute. And then we turned around and we both looked at each other at the same time. And then he walked up to me and he asked for my phone number, and it was my house phone. And I wrote down my house phone and I gave him write on a little piece of paper because we didn't have cell phones. And then he called me on my house phone, and then we were like dating, in junior high. And he was actually my boyfriend on and off all through high school, oddly enough. And he actually just DM'd me the other day. I posted a picture of me with a fake septum piercing, and I was like, should I get a septum piercing, yes or no? And he DM'd and wrote, ew. Which, whatever. Like, shut the fuck up. That makes me want to get it. I'm going to get it now just because my junior high boyfriend said ew to it. Screw you. You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. Ba, 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 ba. So anyway, what was I saying? What? See, dementia. No. Okay. So where was I? Oh, okay. So for the first time in a long time, since puberty, I have no interest in, honestly, it's not just men or women. It's like, and it's not like my sex drive has died either. I am still very much horny at times, or I, find people attractive. I just have no desire to pursue or be pursued. Like, I've had some very attractive people reach out to me even since I've announced that I'm single. And normally I'd be like, ooh, and like, oh, attention, and oh, that feels good, and oh my God, and what, and like, oh, and now I just, for whatever reason, there's no interest. I think I just feel so full and so whole, and I have so much love in my life in other areas that I don't have the time or space for it either. Like, between my kids and my friends and my family and my support group and my work and my creativity and all the things I want to achieve, there's actually truly no room, which is one of the reasons my ex-boyfriend and I broke up, was because there was no room for each other. And he was the same. And also, Carl Jung had this amazing theory that I actually wrote down. So let me read that to you too. Okay, so Carl Jung wrote about the stages of a woman. I went down this Carl Jung rabbit hole because, it's 1 a.m. and I'm not sleeping. So Jung believed that women psychologically evolve through different stages, not rigid rules, just symbolic phases of growth. The first phase, the maiden. Identity is formed around beauty, validation, and romance. Wants to be chosen. She wants to be chosen. She wants to be defined by how she is seen. And she lives outward. So, of course, hello, I was the maiden for probably too long. But then, I got married at 24, almost 25 years old. But absolutely identify with the maiden, I would say, from teenage years to my mid-20s. Actually, throughout my 20s, absolutely. Identity formed around beauty, validation, and romance. I always thought that was societal. Like, we're told what the beauty standard is, and women feel this need to look appealing to men. But I suppose it's natural, isn't it? Okay. Number 2 is the mother. Identity shifts towards nurturing, creating, and protecting. Can be literal motherhood or can be creative motherhood. Self-sacrifice often enters here and purpose deepens. I absolutely identify with the mother, and I still am a mother. So that's interesting. It's not like, can you be more than one stage at a time? I don't know, but this is the second stage, and I'm curious which stage you identify with or where you feel you are right now. So we've got the maiden, we've got the mother, and then we have, and just to finish off on the mother, of course, having my children deepened my purpose. Oh my God, did it deepen my purpose? And then suddenly it's not about, how perfect you look or how successful you are at work. You're too busy keeping your baby alive and on your tit. And the self-sacrifice is massive and life-changing in so many ways. Okay, number 3 is the queen. This is the third stage, the queen. Authority, boundaries, no longer asking for permission, less concerned about being liked, more concerned with truth and sovereignty. Wow. I almost want to know more about the queen era because, dare I say, I'm in it. Dare I say, I have entered my queen era, and that's what this is. Holy, I'm a queen. I had no idea I was royalty. Where's my crown? I want to read more about the queen, but let's just finish. Then we have the 4th stage, the final stage, the crone/Sophia, which is the wisdom phase. But they call it Sophia stage, or the wisdom phase. I wonder why Sophia. Okay, this is very compelling, this one. I see, sorry. Sophia means wisdom, not old and bitter, wise and integrated, holds paradox, no longer panics at the world, sees patterns, and detaches from ego drama. She's rooted. Wow. Jung didn't call it queen, but he did talk about individuation, the process of becoming psychologically whole. So in modern archetypal language, the queen phase describes a woman no longer ruled by romantic obsession. Okay, that's it. That's all I needed to hear. So there it is. A woman no longer ruled by romantic obsession. This is just a new development for me, okay? Like this, we're like in month 1 and I'm noticing it and I'm clocking it. A woman no longer ruled by romantic obsession. It's a very strange, freeing, liberating sensation. And I love men, I love women. There's no need for that romantic obsession. Less projection onto men, more sovereignty, stronger boundaries. She thinks clearly and acts decisively without being hijacked by unconscious attraction patterns. Jung wrote that individuation requires withdrawing projections, especially romantic projections, and reclaiming the psychic energy that was unconsciously placed onto others. Wow. Reclaiming the psychic energy that was unconsciously placed onto others. So the queen is basically a woman who has stopped outsourcing her authority. That hits deep, yo, because I think you can obviously be a queen and be married, right? And just still have strong boundaries, and you can still decenter men even if you're married, most likely. But in my case, I fall into this trap of I don't want to be obsessive, but I definitely get distracted by romantic love. And my free moments are not spent on bettering myself because I remember when I separated from my ex-husband and I was single, I would spend every free moment I had sketching. I used to love sketching, writing, listening to music, meditating, or spending time with friends, or just bettering myself in some way, maybe going to a recovery meeting and deeply sharing and listening. And then when I got a boyfriend, I started spending my time, and not that this is wrong, it's just what I did. I think I needed this distraction, but I was like, oh my God, I have a date. I was spending money that I probably shouldn't have been spending to look nice, get nice makeup and clothes to impress this man, to make him want to fuck me more. And it, because they say like, oh, get pretty for you. I kind of wasn't though. I was getting pretty to get external validation from this man, which, you know, it was fun. It was a great time. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, that's what I did when I had that free time, or I would spend money on childcare to go out on these romantic dates. And oftentimes, you know, there'd be arguments, or I felt like I wasn't fully myself. I would sort of shrink down, not want to be too loud, too goofy, too this. And I was just this like kind of stripped down version of myself, and I was getting distracted. I also remember I told my ex-boyfriend about wanting to write this live show. And again, this is all my fault and my revelation, but I told him about it, and then I never did it, because every free moment I got, I was spending with him, or, you know, obviously my kids. But I'm saying when I wasn't with my kids, I was then prioritizing this romantic connection over writing this show. And again, I think I needed that. I needed that experience. It's just, I started seeing, holy shit, I'm not putting myself first, and I'm not happy with that, and I'm not reaching my potential, and whatever. So, okay. So Queen is basically a woman who has stopped outsourcing her authority. Yeah. All right. And then we've got Sophia, which is the wisdom phase, and what Jung said that absolutely meant. So Sophia appears in Jung's work through alchemy, the divine feminine, wisdom as a bridge between unconscious and conscious. He describes Sophia as the personification of wisdom. I have not entered my Sophia stage yet. I am not there. I'm definitely in Queen. And I think my friend is too. It's so funny. She just hit 40 and absolute Queen. I think you hit Queen around 40. I really do. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense. Okay. So in Jungian psychology, reaching Sophia energy means you are no longer split between instinct and intellect. You can hold paradox. Interesting. You are less reactive. You can sit in suffering without collapsing. You've integrated shadow. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. Write it in the comments if you do. And he wrote about this union with the self, the highest organizing principle of the psyche. So Jung believed women evolve from being unconsciously drawn to external power, strong men, romantic fantasy, intellectual authority, to eventually embodying that authority within herself. Yo, bars. The highest form of feminine development, symbolized as Sophia, is when wisdom replaces projection, sovereignty replaces obsession, and a woman becomes internally anchored instead of externally dependent. Clock it. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Tell me what stage, what phase you're in. I'm definitely in the Queen phase. That all is adding up for me. Okay, what else is going on? So Alfie had his new speech therapist come last week, and she's a Gestalt language processor. And I'm not an expert on it, but essentially Gestalt language processing is how he processes language, which is through scripts. So essentially, you narrate whatever he's doing, and then he takes that in. And I've kind of been doing this anyway. So for example, if he had this yellow workout band and he was putting it on his wrist, I would say, oh, I would narrate what he was doing. To say, oh, look at this pink band. It's stretchy. Look at how stretchy it is. I'm putting it on. I put it on. Look at my pink band. So you're just narrating what, and that was him doing it and me narrating it as him. It's like when I say to him still, hi, Alfie, sometimes he'll go, hi, Alfie. So it's a really, really interesting, fascinating way to process language, but it's how he does. And I actually want to read you a little bit about it here. But I find just from one session, I learned so much and it's so exciting. And she, like, I'm not trying to, dude, now I'm like convinced I'm getting dementia. I can't think of the phrase. Toot my own horn. Oh my God, toot my own horn. I was going to say blow my own trumpet. I was going to go, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. Is that a thing? Or is it just toot my own horn? Why does blow my own trumpet sound? Is it blow my own trumpet or toot my own horn? I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but she was like, wow, you're kind of implementing this therapy anyway. It's crazy that he hasn't actually had this type of speech therapy because it's what you guys are doing in the house. Okay, so let me pull this up really quick. Okay. So most of us learn language analytically, word by word. Ball, want, milk. Whereas Gestalt processors learn in chunks. So they learn entire phrases, scripts, songs, or movie lines. So they memorize whole units first, and then later break them down into flexible language. So example, instead of I'm hungry, they might say, do you want a snack? Do you want a snack? Because that's how they heard it. So they're repeating, do you want a snack? Because that's how they heard it, rather than I'm hungry. Or if they repeat songs, because that's how language feels safe. So, okay. So some ways that I was already doing it was, I would always sing his books to him ever since he was really young. And I found that really helped him learn language. Whenever I'd sing the books, then I would take out a word and he would fill in the word. But if I were to just read the word and then try and get him to join along, he wouldn't. So singing really works. That's actually how I got him to say his name for the first time when he was 2. There was this song and it went pink, 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 twirl, 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 glitter, 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 girls, girls, girls. It was just a random song, but then I replaced the last words of the song with it's Mommy and Alfie together forever. So that was a song and I would just go pink, 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 twirl, 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 glitter, 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 girls, girls, girls. It's Mommy and then he went, Alfie. And I went, oh my God. And he went, Alfie. And I said, it's Mommy and he went, Alfie. And I went, oh my God, together forever. And we cried and cried and cried. But that was through song. And then what else? Okay, so what else are we doing? Emotional safety through repetition. Okay, so yeah, so I like Gestalt language processing because it honors how the brain works instead of trying to rewire it into normal. Yeah, and I wonder who else has had luck with Gestalt language processing, or if you're a speech pathologist, let me know, because it's actually surprisingly hard to find a speech pathologist that specializes in Gestalt language processing. But I feel like most kids on the spectrum do process language that way. So anyway, it's really exciting, and I'll fill you in on all the stuff that I've learned. But even just, I thought I was narrating him, but when she came, it was like, oh damn, she's really narrating his whole life. It's like a fucking nature documentary over here. Okay, so that happened. Let me see what else I wanted to talk about. Oh, I got my period today. So on top of not sleeping because I'm a dum-dum and I stayed up doom scrolling, taking on the problems of the world, so I didn't really sleep. And then I got my period in the morning, which so it's just that first day. The first day of the period, that's when it's like you're really tired and a little crampy and just kind of like want to lay down and take a nap type deal. But just working through the stuff. I'm going to clip out Alfie's nails. Poppy's killing it. She's very sassy. Any 4 to 5-year-old kiddos, super sassy. You got a sassy 4 or 5-year-old? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? So Poppy's in like a dance, ballet, jazz class, and she got in trouble over the weekend. I took her Saturday morning, and her instructor came out after and was like, Poppy was really defiant the whole class. She was not listening. I told her to stand in the line. She would not do it. I was giving her directions. She would not do it. So she didn't get a sticker. And Poppy was like standing there, and she looks at me and she goes, I failed. I failed. And it was kind of this really heavy moment. And I was just like, look, you know, I need to talk to her and see what she believes happened. But I just heard the teacher and I said, oh, okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And I've kind of heard this teacher say things similarly to other parents. And I wonder, like, is this like dance mom teacher, dance instructor culture? Are they just like super hard on these girls? You know, or maybe Poppy was being defiant because she has with me given me hell. I even told you guys last week, I posted about it, that I told her to put her shoes on like 20 times and she wouldn't do it. She was just laughing and running away, and we were going to be late to school, and I ended up screaming, and I felt terrible because I don't like to yell. I really don't. And then in the car, I was like, if you don't listen to me, you're not going to have screen time. And she was like, ah, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I need you to respect me, and I need you to listen to me. And if you don't, there's going to be consequences, because I'm at a loss. And it's like how I raise Poppy is obviously slightly different with Alfie. Alfie requires different things. Poppy requires different things. It really is a child thing. But I'm wondering how you're dealing with the defiance of your 4 to 5-year-old. I'm thinking it's a phase now. My friend has a kid around Poppy's age, and they're just entering this more defiant stage and really testing boundaries. And I think she was doing that in class. But anyway, so Poppy and I went out for a smoothie after, and I said, what was going on in there? And she goes, Mom, she said, I was just trying to make the kids laugh. I was just trying to make them laugh. And I was like, whoopsie. That was exactly me when I was a kid. And, you know, I just explained to her, I said, you know, I was like that too. And that, you know, there's a time and a place and to make kids laugh. And then sometimes you got to listen. But anyway, I didn't like that she said, I failed. And I said, no, you didn't. I said, no, you didn't fail, but we'll do better next time. And she was just like, whatever, I didn't get a sticker. Like, it didn't devastate her. But I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts on that situation. Because of course, as a mom, I'm like, oh my God, is she being too strict on my daughter? Or no, maybe she needed to not get the sticker and she was disrupting the rest of the class, and that's not okay, you know? But it's definitely a newer progression. So yeah, so there you go. That happened, but overall, life is good. I'm going to literally probably lay down for 10 minutes after this because I'm kind of fading that first day of my period, but I'm glad that we caught up. I'm seeing if there's anything else I wanted to talk to y'all about. No, I guess just, do you feel you have a doom scrolling problem? Or do you have that under control? I go through phases in and out of that, but right now I'm just loving my single life, focused on my kids, my creativity, my recovery. And then I'll end with this. I just went to my 84-year-old bestie's 32nd sober birthday, and it was so much fun. All these women from all walks of life in one house celebrating this 84-year-old woman who had 2 liver transplants. And liver transplants 30 years ago, new, kind of unheard of. She had 2, and they said she would get 10 years max to live after the liver transplant. Oh my God, say liver transplant 10 times fast. Liver transplant, liver transplant, liver transplant. So she is literally 84 years old and in such good health and has amazing friends. Like, she is goals. She's where I want to be when I'm 84. She has the best life, just plays bridge every day, has so many friends, good relationship with her kids. Her husband passed, but she has such immense support from friends and family and kids and support groups that she's just loving her life. And she gives me all the time, but in the best, most loving way. And I just feel so grateful to have that support and that community. So if you don't have a support group or a community, I highly recommend one. Even if you're not an alcoholic, there's like a lot of different 12-step programs that may benefit you if you're ever feeling isolated, or like you just want a group that you go to every week to just check in, get to know these people, and, you know, be of service and also get help for yourself. I mean, I've met women in that group where they have kids on the spectrum and they help me navigate the system. I've met women who went through a divorce and they helped me, you know, through the legal process. I've met women who had relationships similar to mine and helped me navigate those. I met women who have really bad PMS, just like me, or who have a sassy daughter. It's like any problem you've been through, they've been through it several times or someone has. So it's just really cool to have a support group that you actually go and physically see and deeply share and deeply listen. It's pretty life-changing. It's been even more effective for me, I would say, than therapy, because I find with therapy, I end up just kind of ruminating sometimes and just kind of living in the problem. And then there's not a lot of solution. In my experience, it's not always like that. Sometimes therapy is good, but okay, that's my little spiel. I love you guys. And my third book is available for pre-order. What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter. It's available for pre-order, audio, and we can link it below. The audio, Kindle, Amazon, everywhere. You can get it in any form you want for pre-order. So I'm so excited about that. And let me know where you live, because I'm planning my live tour. I'm doing a book tour and a live show, and I want to come see you and meet you finally after all these years. So let me know where you're at so we can plan our tour. And thank you so much for listening or watching.